All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. I've got a lot of big old Gala updates. These are major updates in the Gala Games space. If you enjoy the content, you know what to do. Slap the like button, and let's get right into the news. I actually, trust me, I actually did my due diligence here. I'm going to give you some biggie ol' alpha here, and let's start here with the head of the game. I've actually got other stuff to talk about, but I watched the full ahead of the game. There's actually two parts of it. Bitbender ended up cutting off on the first one. And so, by the way, big shout out to Faz. How you doing? Maybe we'll get on Faz Radio sometime and talk about Gala, or just talk about life. But here we go. Ahead of the game had major leaks in the space. I'm talking about major. Now, I don't know the exact timestamps for this, so you'll have to just take it from Classy here. But Spider Tanks is announcing a major update. I feel like they just glance over these things. They just say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go ahead and change the tokenomics on Grit." This is just something we've been thinking about. All right, next thing. Like, they just go over these things in a minute, and then I've got to go ahead and hop on here and explain it. But Spider Tanks, listen up. Spider Tanks is saying, or at least they're working on taking them off of the Gala launcher. You heard it right. They're thinking of taking Spider Tanks off of the Gala launcher, or okay, this is not taking it off, or moving it to a place that is easier to use. Now, we know that on Grit, on the Epic Games Store, you could go ahead, hop on, play Grit just fine. If you wanted to participate in the whole play-to-earn system on Grit, then you would have had to link your Gala account. That was kind of a pain. A lot of people had troubles on that. But for the most part, what Bitbender was trying to say during this section for Spider Tanks was the fact that they need to make it easier for people to get on Spider Tanks, because they've noticed a drastic drop-off in players every time they try to just get in the game. You need a wallet, you need a transfer code, you need to get two-factor authentication, you need to think about a Coinbase wallet or a MetaMask wallet or 53 different wallets. Too complicated for most people. We're more than fine with dealing with it, but most people don't feel like dealing with it, especially in the regular gaming space. So I think this is an incredible move for Spider Tanks. This is something we've been waiting for a very long time, and I feel is going to have a very positive effect in the Spider Tanks user acquisition, because there's just going to be so many more people that are going to be willing to actually go through with playing the game, because all they're going to have to do is play on whatever launcher they can play on. I don't know what Spider Tanks launcher is going to be on. Press the play button, play the game, and if they want to participate in the crypto, then you can go ahead, grab the Gala Games account, and then deal with the crypto stuff. But for the people that don't feel like dealing with the crypto and just want to play the game, well, they can just play the game, which I think is a great thing. I'm sure most people will inevitably move and migrate to the Gala Games platform. So to me, this is perfectly fine. But Bitbender, this is big news. Like, get it out there. This is major news. So yeah, that's the big thing I saw in ahead of the game. Another major thing that I figured I'd point out was the fact that Biddy was talking about Last Expedition. Last Expedition is going to be getting a summer build. We're going to get a brand new build on Last Expedition. I showcased some of the cool gameplay that's going to be coming to Last Expedition, but for the most part, I love seeing updates on games that haven't come out, because they just keep getting better and better and better, and hopefully one day we can actually end up all playing Last Expedition. Node owners will have some invite keys. He did say, if you have a node on Last Expedition, don't give out your invite codes just yet. I don't know why, but apparently that's all he said, so we'll have to see the context here. I would like to quickly touch base here on Faz. Faz actually talked a lot about the biggest error on Gala Games, and he said the biggest error on Gala Games right now, the thing he would like to see improved, is the fact that communication isn't very good on Gala Games. And I feel that's something on the channel, at least, that we've been doing. Of course, this, the channel is community run. We are not sponsored by Gala Games. We're just making videos out of our own fruition. I do play a lot of Gala Games, so I guess there is that disclosure. But, yeah, I mean, Faz is really dead on here. That communication is probably the biggest fault on Gala Games. Bitbender said that on one of the first weeks of the ahead of the game, which is what we're looking at right now, he talked about the fact that, for the most part, they talked about the Grit tokenomics changes a very long time ago on the first episode, pretty much, but that they had just announced it on that episode before, and people were upset because they were like, oh, you didn't tell us before. He did tell people before, but guess what? you haven't told people enough. People forget. People don't watch episodes. So there needs to be more of a consistent place to get information. He said, Bitbender at least, that they are contemplating doing a community wiki. I don't know when that's going to happen, but those are just some of the things that Bitbender, the president of blockchain at Gala Games, went ahead and said. So I hope you enjoyed that information. Next thing, we've got big news for people that have been playing the mobile games that were recently acquired by Gala Games. This was Ember Entertainment, now Gala Games. These are mobile games that have been around for a very long time. Dragon Strike Meow Match. This is news for Dragon Strike. A Gala Games leaderboard is coming to Dragon Strike. This is actually going to be a very big deal. He actually talked about the fact that for the people that are on Dragon Strike looking for updates, the biggest problem with getting a Web 2 game and transitioning it into Web 3 is that you essentially have to make the same game again and then integrate the blockchain technology on top of it. It's really hard, but they seem to be very, very close. As you can see right here, starting Thursday, July 6th, you'll apparently have a Gala Games leaderboard. So that update's going to come out. People can actually begin to get updates on Dragon Strike. And overall, with Gala Games seemingly doubling down on their acquisition of Ember Entertainment here with Dragon Strike, it's a good news. I mean, it's great news for people in the Gala Games space because more and more, there are just more opportunities to win Gala. So you can see here, each week, the top 200 players on the Gala Games leaderboard will receive Gala rewards in their treasure chest. How much loot you'll find depends on where you'll finish. So hop on Dragon Strike. See if you like the game. Go ahead, check it out, and see if you can rank 200, grab some of that juicy Gala tokens. And by the way, they've had a pretty big economy in terms of turning their heroes into NFTs. Those have been selling for crazy money. I don't even want to talk about that, but yeah, that's major news. And look at this. Tiger Tank. Big news for Spider Tanks. The hunt begins. The Tiger Tank arrives soon. Get ready to hunt or be hunted. An all-new prehistoric predator is stalking its way into arenas across the planetary Union. So this is the new tank. This is some gameplay on it. It shoots, and it seems like it has it's kind of like a cannon in the sense that it shoots straight, but then when it hits its range, it just splits into 3. So at first glance, I thought this tank was going to be complete trash. The community also said it was going to be garbage. However, here's a big however. In terms of what they've leaked on the Spider Tanks discussion, and yes, I'm talking to you, Hendrickson, if Chair's listening or anybody else listening, this is coming from Hendrickson's mouth, not mine. Well, I guess his little typing keyboards. He said that there's going to be a major buff to the Tiger. So the Tiger is going to be significantly stronger than we had originally anticipated. So the speed, at least, is going to be a big difference. And I'm sure this is probably going to be a really good tank. Something else they did say about this Ripper weapon is that it's going to come out with a stripe skin. I don't know what advantage the stripe skin is going to have. I don't think it has any. Does it have any advantage? While this unique firing pattern is ready to rip patterns apart. Yeah, I don't know if they said anything about skins yet, so we don't know how strong the skin is. But the Tiger, it looks like it's kind of like a medium body. It's a balanced tank body. The medium bodies are the strongest tank bodies in the game. And then the Ripper is doing its thing. For people that don't care about Spider Tanks, and they're just quite frankly like, how does this affect me on Gala? Well, they are having a sale, right? And this sale starts July 5th at noon Pacific time. These are the retail prices. Uncommon is $120, Rare Tiger $250, etc., going all the way to $5,000. People are like, holy guac, $5,000. I know. But they have usually at least, well, actually, no, they've had every sale, like a 50% discount on this kind of stuff. Like if I go on the Spider Tanks over here, it's not literally $5,000. It's usually like 50% off. So yeah, it's still $2,500, but at least it's not $5,000. And that's the entire tank. This seems like a hero tank. So when you buy it once, it comes with all of the parts in there. There's going to be 30 ancients. We'll see what ends up happening here. But something very interesting to note here is that an additional 5% discount will apply to all purchases made in Gala. But here's a new one. ETH or credit card. Interesting. I think personally it would be nice if this discount was only with Gala, because that would incentivize more people to use Gala and that would burn more Gala. That just seems like it makes more sense to me. But nonetheless, it is nice to get more fiat on the ecosystem. I guess that's never a bad thing. But I do think 100% it should be discounted only in Gala, because it feels like there needs to be more incentive for people to just go ahead and use the Gala token whenever they're going ahead and purchasing. It makes sense why they're doing it with Gala then. with the 5% discount. Most people will just go ahead, click this, and click Silk Gyri, use the silk that they've already got in the game, and then place their order. If you've got it on ETH, there's more incentive to actually use a token from maybe the exterior of the Spider Tank's ecosystem and get that Gala running, which I think is always a great thing for the ecosystem, never a bad thing, and just something they should at least go ahead and explore. There are a couple other things he said about creator codes and other stuff. And by the way, use code Classy. Don't forget about that stuff. And if you win out there and you supported the channel using links, doggal.com/classycrypto, then you are the GOAT, because it takes you right there. You support the channel, percentage goes to Classy Crypto, and that's all we take. We all know about affiliates. And with this being said, if you enjoy the content, as always, like and subscribe, and that's going to be all. Stay classy.